So a special live stream right now. A YouTuber went missing. So I'm gonna go to the YouTuber's page in a second. He's Scottish. He's a normal guy, normal nice guy from. He's from Scotland, but he's in Russia. He's been in Russia for years in Mother Russia, and he's been doing YouTube streams from Russia. The Russians don't seem to have a problem with him. I mean, he's a really good-looking, handsome guy from Scotland. He's a normal guy. I think he's a normal guy. He seems like a normal guy. He's very good-looking, handsome Scottish guy from Russia. From Scotland. He's in Russia. He's from Scotland. He's Scottish. He's currently in Russia, and he was doing these YouTube videos streaming from Russia, and they were really popular. And then the next thing you know, his whole YouTube channel, it's all the videos are been taken down. So who took the videos down and why? Now, the fact that he's in Russia, he's from Scotland, from the British UK, he's in Russia, and suddenly his videos go down. There's no reason, no warning, no forewarning. And then, of course we're going to be concerned, right? He's in Mother Russia, and, given the war with Putin and Russia and Ukraine, and he's Scottish, he's a nice Scottish guy. If, hey, if the Scottish, does the Scottish have their version of the CIA? The Scottish have like a bunch of spies. And anyways, if Scotland had their own version of the CIA, he would be perfect. Anyways, to work with the CIA. So, just to be clear, it's not Candace Owens who went missing. I'm not talking about that YouTuber. I'm talking about a different YouTuber. Just so you know, anyways, I'm gonna go to the other YouTuber's account in a second. Candace Owens, unfortunately, she's busy right now trying to raise money for the lawsuit. She's trying to raise money for her lawyer. So Candace Owens right now, she's trying to raise money for her lawyer. So she's really busy. She's not the one I'm talking about who went missing. The YouTuber who went missing. This is a different guy I'm talking about. I know Candace Owens is not a guy. I'm talking about a different person who went missing. But anyways, Candace Owens, if she's not able to raise money for her lawyer, she's gonna have to go with a public defender. And you know what happens to brothers and sisters when they have to go with a public defender, right? The public defenders are garbage. So Candace Owens, she needs to raise money for her lawyer because she's being sued big time. The Macrons, the French president, is suing Candace Owens. So she can't just go with some public defender. She needs a real good lawyer. So Candace Owens is busy raising money for her lawyer right now. But anyways, so let's go to the guy who went missing, the YouTuber. No, like the real guy. A YouTuber went missing. Watch. I'll show you. If I go to my subscriptions, my YouTube subscriptions, I have a lot. It's just a random order. It's not like order of the ones I like the least to the most or the most to the least. It's just a random order. Okay. This guy, Moscow Uncut. And when I saw his name of the channel, I'm like, Anyways, Moscow Uncut. If we go to his channel, all the videos are gone. All of the videos have been removed. He's a Scottish guy who apparently is uncut, an uncut Scottish guy. And he's a nice, normal, hardworking guy. Well, he wasn't like a lumberjack, like a Canadian lumberjack. He's not like a wood chopper. I don't know. I don't think. Maybe he is. I mean, maybe he is in Scotland. He's a lumberjack. But anyways, he's a YouTuber, but he's a really handsome, normal guy for a YouTuber. He's not some weirdo who he's not some weirdo who throws around glitter and wears dresses. This guy's a nice looking Scottish guy with a nice Scottish accent. He's in Russia. He's been in Russia for the last several years. I believe he's married to a Russian woman. And his whole channel went missing. Like, the videos went missing. They've all been taken down. And he had lots of views. He had lots of subscribers. He had more subscribers than me. He had lots of viewers on his channel. He averaged like 100,000 views per. I would estimate. I would estimate he'd average like 100,000 views per video. He was doing pretty successful. People liked him. I like watching his videos, right? And suddenly all his videos went missing. And I'm like, I mean, sometimes I do comment on his videos, but I don't think he would have blocked me because there's no reason. He liked all my comments, so I got concerned. So I actually even went. I just went to sign into YouTube like without an account, like as a guest account, and sure enough, yeah, all his videos are gone. It's gone for everyone. It's not like he didn't block me or anything. His I went into YouTube even with a guest account, and I looked searched for his videos. They're all gone. So the fact that he's from Scotland in Russia during a major war between Russia and Ukraine, I mean, we should be concerned, right? I mean, listen, I know that the United States, they do put out a lot of propaganda, okay? And we've been fooled by the propaganda. So Russia is not as bad as the United States portrays Russia to be. That's just for sure. But when you've grown up in Canada and you see all these Canadian news articles hating on Russians, saying, oh, Vladimir Putin's a dictator, Vladimir Putin poisons people, Vladimir Putin got rid of Alexei Navalny, right? So when you grow up in Canada and then the Canadian government, they make the Russians look awful. Until recently, though, I think Canada was actually taken over by Russia because they all stopped. All of the negative articles about Russia stopped about 7 years ago. So up until 7 years ago, Canada, the government of Canada, they used to be like, oh, they hate Russia, blah, blah, blah. Russians, Putin's this, Putin's a dictator. But then I noticed all of a sudden the last 7 years, I haven't really seen a lot of Canadian propaganda against Russia. It's as if Russia took over Canada because it all stopped. So basically, what happened to this guy? Like, it's so bizarre that his all his videos would just suddenly go missing, right? What happened to this guy? Where did he go? It's like it's bizarre. Like I don't see any other YouTubers suddenly all their videos going missing. And his channel's still up. So why that's even more strange. His channel's still up. You could still see his channel, but all his videos have gone missing. They're not there. Okay? So what happened? Like I don't see any other YouTubers who went missing. Look, see they're all here. Uh hold on. My controller got a little bit. There we go. They're all here. So Megan Kelly's still here. She's still got her subtle she still got her news. I don't really see Megan Kelly as a journalist anymore. I see her more as like a political commentator. She's not really a journalist. I mean, a journalist is usually just reports news without an opinion. Megan Kelly more now has an opinion. I like that though. I like she gives her opinion. It's good. She's a political commentator. What's that? What the heck? Anyways, she's pretty too, Megan Kelly. Anyways, see, like everyone else's channel's still up. Even this guy's channel's still up. Look at this guy. See? His channel's still up, right? Everyone else's channel's still up. So what happened to the Scottish guy? Everyone else's channel. Look at this Rita Bahani. Look at this devil incarnated. She's kind of scary. No, no, I mean, but like it's funny because one time she did like the devil ears like to be funny, right? She did like the devil thing, horns. And then I was like, wow, she looks like it for real. Like it's as if like the devil's hiding in plain sight. But anyways, so yeah, so Sky News Australia, Rita Pahani, she's still up. Her channel's still up. And I agree with a lot of what Rita Pahani says. I agree with her to be honest. So especially about many things. So I agree with Rita Bahani. So her channel's still up. Look, this is a Russian YouTuber. Her channel's still up. Okay. Look, she's even talking about Russian drones or something. Why does she like to show? Okay, I do like this YouTuber, but I don't like all of her content. Obviously, I don't like to see war and tanks. Listen, I'm just not a war person. I don't like war, and I know that she's not promoting war. I know that. I just don't like to see tanks and stuff. I don't like to see drones and tanks. It scares me, especially Russian tanks. Russian tanks scare me. I don't like to see tanks and stuff. So that's why. But it's no fault to her. It's not her. She's not doing anything wrong. She's just going to a war museum or whatever, a war memorial show. And the Russians, they love to remind everyone that they beat the Germans. Like the Russians, they have a victory parade every year. Every year, the Russians have a victory parade where they like to remind everyone that they beat the Germans in World War II. And the Russians, every year, they march down the streets reminding everyone they beat those Germans in World War II. So yeah, I don't like to see tanks since they scare me. Russian tanks scare me. But other than that, her channel's great actually. I recommend you check out her channel. She's a really nice Russian woman, and she speaks really excellent, good English, right? I just don't like to see scary parts, like when I see Russian tanks and stuff. That scares me. I watched too many German World War II movies, I think. So, anyways, so her channel's still up. Anyways, sorry, what happened there? Okay, let's hold on a sec. I'm just gonna go to the meme now because I was able to show off that the guy's channel went missing. So now let's go to the meme. I created a meme, a special meme for this because I got concerned. So now let's read the meme out. Why do the normal, blue-collar, hardworking, honorable men go missing in Russia? Meanwhile, the creeps get promotions and become Prime Minister of Canada. Well, he was the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, for a long time. So, like, the hardworking white males, especially like the normal guys, normal, hardworking, masculine, strong, tall. I don't know how tall he was pretty tall. I mean, he looked tall. Yeah, he was tall. The Scottish guy was tall. Anyway, so normal, masculine, hardworking men, especially, the white men, they go missing. They get like suddenly they get addicted to drugs. Not the Scottish guy. The Scottish guy as far as I know. I mean, I don't know. Obviously, the Scottish guy definitely did not look like a drug addict. The Scottish guy, the Scottish YouTuber, he was like very fit, and he was tall, and he had muscles, and he had a really nice Scottish accent, and he had a he dressed like a man, like he was like looked like a normal like a guy, right? But what I'm saying is like, and the reason he went missing, I'm more concerned the fact that he's in Russia, and there's a big war right now between Russia and Ukraine, and I just saw a news article a few days ago where Germany caught a bunch of Russian spies, and Russia obviously catches American spies here and there. I'm not saying that this Scottish YouTuber was a spy or anything, but like at least I would never have thought he would be a spy until I see suddenly his channel get disappears. Suddenly I see his YouTube channel, all his videos go missing. That's a little suspicious. I mean, if he just was maybe in Scotland and his videos went missing, that may be one thing. But the fact that he's from Scotland, he's Scottish, he's in Russia, he's been in Russia for the last, I think it was what he said, 8 years, I think he said. Approximately 8 years. There's a big war between Russia and Ukraine and the United States. And other people in Russia have gone missing. It's not like Russia is the country that hasn't had people go missing before. I mean, Alexei Navalny was killed. Apparently, they say he was murdered. Alexei Navalny. There were other people in Russia who went missing. So, all of these things put together, it's cause for concern. And he's not the only white guy that went missing, the normal white guy that's gone missing. There's been a lot of white guys, normal white guys who've gone missing. Lots. They've been targeting, see, with the anti-white racism. Now I'm just talking in general. Now I'm talking generally speaking, okay, about white guys. They have white men have been targeted by the anti-white racism. Um, it's like they're trying to colonize the Western world, right? It's like all these countries, China, Africa, India, they're trying to get rid of they're doing it. They're going missing like constantly. I'm constantly seeing white men go missing. I'm constantly seeing and normal white men. I'm seeing the normal white men go missing. Like the weirdos at the bottom, like this, who like dress up like women, the weirdos like to dress up like women, they're still around. But I'm seeing all these normal, hardworking guys go missing, and it's scary and it's cause for concern. And so I'm just worried for this guy. I'm worried for this Scottish YouTuber, you know. His videos have been missing now for about a week, I would say, estimate. I know I checked about 4 days ago and I noticed that his videos were down. And I thought, oh, well, maybe he just is retuning his YouTube channel. Maybe he's just fixing up his YouTube channel, right? I didn't think anything of it at first. And then I'm like, well, just I'll just wait a week. Well, in a week, I'm sure like well, videos will probably come back up. He'll explain his absence, why he was away for a week, whatever. Um, and just so but then a week later, I noticed his videos are still gone. Now, like I said, I'm just concerned. I'm just concerned that maybe something might have happened because, like I said, there's a war between Russia and Ukraine. They're constantly catching Russian spies in other countries, like they just caught a bunch of Russian spies in Germany. Russia's constantly catching American spies. I'm not saying that this Scottish guy was a spy or anything, but like, I don't know. I can't say he isn't. I mean, I can't say either way. I can't say he is a spy. I can't say he isn't a spy. I wouldn't know either way. I just know that if you add all of this information all up together, it does seem suspicious and I'm worried for this person, for this Scottish YouTuber. Like the fact that there's a war between Russia and Ukraine. Russia is notorious for making people disappear. The United States is constantly finding Russian spies, putting them in prison. Russia's finding American spies, putting them in prison. Um, and believe me, you don't want to go to a Russian prison. It's not nice, okay? It's really cold, and there's creepy Russian guys watching you from the window, you know. Anyways, you believe me, you don't want to go inside of a Russian prison. So, what happened to this Scottish YouTuber? I mean, he seemed like the Russians loved him, right? But I mean, hey, if the CIA and the Scottish, whatever the Scottish version of the CIA is, does Scotland have their own version of the CIA? So Canada has their version of the CIA, which is so the CIA, the American CIA is the Central Intelligence Agency, the Central Intelligence Agency, and then Canada has their version of the CIA, which is the Canadian Security Intelligence Service. Of course, France has their version of the CIA, which is the DGSE, some long pretentious French word. I can't say it. Director or something, director, like whatever. And then, Germany has their version of the CIA, the BND, another long word I can't say, it's too hard. Bunda something, Bunda Wiener Schnitzel something, Bunda Wiener Schnitzel, Lederhosen something, whatever. Bundaba. Anyways, it's not, I'm just, I can't say it. I can't remember the name of the German intelligence agency, the BND, the Bunda something, whatever. Bunda Wiener Schnitzel something. Anyways, I can't remember exact name, so I apologize. I can't remember the name. Um, and then Scotland. Oh well, of course there's the British MI6, right? And I think he would belong, I guess, to the British, right? Because I did try searching for like a Scottish embassy in Canada, and Scotland doesn't have an embassy in Canada. So the Scottish embassy, according to a Google search, sorry, according to a search on Google, in Canada, Scotland falls under Britain. So if you're gonna try to contact like the Scottish embassy in Canada, because you're concerned, right? Then no, you actually, it's according to the Google search, it said you have to contact the British High Commission or something of Canada. You have to contact the British something. So I guess Scotland would fall under MI6, MI5. Scotland would fall under British protect rule, right? The UK, the United Kingdom. So it's just like it's bizarre that he's perfectly normal guy from Scotland. He's good looking. He's tall. He's masculine. He's got a Russian wife. He's been in Russia for years. And then not just for a couple days, but a whole week, pretty much. I wasn't counting the days, so it might be like 5 days or 7 days or 8 days, but it was definitely more than 3 days. It's definitely been long. It's been almost a week. In fact, it might even been longer than a week because I just noticed a few days ago that the channels were down. But like I don't watch this guy's channels every day. I don't watch his videos every day. So I just casually every so often notice. So I can't really for sure say when the videos went down. I don't know. The videos have might have been down actually for 2 weeks now that I think about it. So I don't know. I can't say for sure when the videos were taken down. I can tell you though that I noticed that about 5 days ago, the videos were down. And then I decide, okay, I'll just wait a week. Maybe, he's retuning his YouTube channel, but they're still down. His YouTube videos are still down. So, like I said, if this was any other YouTuber, I might not be as concerned but given the circumstances in this case, the circumstances is very clear why someone might want to be concerned about this because the fact that it's in Russia, he's from Scotland, he's a Scottish YouTuber, and he's from Scotland, he's in Russia right now. Russia, there's a big war between Russia and Ukraine and Russia and America. In fact, Putin just met with Donald Trump in Alaska. Like, and clearly the Russians are winning, right? And in many things, the Russians have been winning. The Russians have been winning. Clearly the Russians are winning because Trump, like, did you see when he was greeting Putin? Like, Trump almost was practically about to bend over for Putin. Like, did you see when Donald Trump was, like, meeting with Putin in Alaska? Like, it looked like Putin had Trump in his hand. Like, that sounded funny. Anyways, you know what I mean? So Russia's winning. This Scottish YouTuber suddenly all his videos go missing. I don't know why. He's from Scotland. He's Scottish. He's been in Russia for about 8 years. Apparently, according to what he said, I'm pretty sure he said it was about 8 years he's been in Russia. He's married to. I think he has a Russian wife. So I've never seen her. I haven't watched all of his videos. I watched a lot of his videos, but not all of them. Cause I've always considered maybe going to Russia again. I mean, I've never been to Russia. I might go to Russia. Um, Sorry, I've never been to Russia. I'm always considered traveling again. I've always considered maybe going abroad again, traveling again to another country. The last time I left Canada, I went to the United States. And the United States, the Americans beat the crap out of me. So I was like, I'm not going to go traveling for a while now. Like, I'm not going to leave Canada. I'm not going to leave Canada for a while unless it's like for a job or an assignment or a mission or something. Because like I like to write novels. So I like to do research. And so sometimes I like to travel for like writing novels and stuff to do my research for the novels that I write. That's why. That's what I meant when I said missions and stuff like that. So sometimes, yeah, I like to go to other countries to do research, and then explore the and travel, explore the cities, and then I use the information to write novels. Um, so basically, yeah, I'm just concerned this a Scottish YouTuber in Russia has gone missing. Why? Why did he go missing? Anyways, let's go to the comments. I haven't looked at the comments for a while. Let's go to the comments. Yes, so Dan M came in and he said there are no Scottish embassies anywhere. Yes, I found that out because I was concerned. I was almost going to email the Scottish embassy and be like, hey, there's a Scottish guy who's been in Russia now for years. He's apparently married to a Russian woman. He's a really good-looking Scottish guy. He's tall, he's masculine, he's a normal guy. He's a normal guy. He dresses normal. He knows how to wear pants. He's not a thug. Like those thuggies, like those rappers, like, yo, 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 I'm a thug, and I don't know how to wear pants. Anyways, I'm not a good rapper, but anyways, you get my point, right? Like those thugs. I almost said, those ghetto. Can I say ghetto? Yeah, I can say ghetto. I can say ghetto. Those ghetto thugs that they're like rappers and they like to rob banks and stuff. They're like bank robbers and they even do rap songs about it. They're like, yo, 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 I'm a rapper. Russia, especially in China, Russia would never allow like those rappers and those thugs. Those thugs, unless they're Russian thugs, obviously, unless it's Russian thugs working for Mother Russia, Russia would never allow ghetto thugs to go to Russia and be like, yo, Putin, yo, Vladimir Putin, I am the jizz. I am the jizzanizzle. I am the bro homie, yo. Anyways, I can't rap. I shouldn't rap. If I rap, then people are gonna leave. So anyways, you get my point. So anyways, yeah. So this Scottish guy, he's a normal guy. He dresses normal. He's a nice, good-looking guy. In fact, I regret not taking a picture of his YouTube channel. I just assumed that his videos would be up almost forever. You know, like I wasn't thinking that suddenly his videos were gonna disappear. I can't. There's not a single video. Like all the videos on his channel have gone missing. So in case you're just tuning in right now to my live stream, I did show a picture of the channel, but the videos are gone. So the channel is still up. You can see the name of the channel, which says Moscow Uncut. The name of it, so you could search the channel, you could find the channel, you could see for yourself that the channel's there, but the videos are all gone. Someone took down all his videos. I don't know if it was him, the Scottish guy that did it. I don't know if it was like the Russian government took down his videos. I don't know who took down his videos. I'm not going to assume anything. Like I said, I'm not going to assume that he just did it himself. And I'm not going to assume that it was the Russian government. I'm not going to assume anything. I don't know. I'm not going to jump to conclusions. Because what if he really is in Russian prison? Who knows, right? So I'm not going to jump to conclusions either way. So if you go search for his channel, it's called Moscow Uncut. Okay. So he's apparently, if I interpret his channel correctly, the name of his channel. So the name of his channel is Moscow Uncut. Okay. And when I saw the name of the channel, anyways, so the name of his channel is Moscow Uncut. That's the name of his YouTube channel. But he's like a normal guy. As far as I can tell, he's a normal heterosexual male, like a man. He's a man, a Scottish guy. He's normal, as far as I can tell. But apparently, if I go to interpret the way that I interpret the name of his YouTube channel, Moscow Uncut, maybe he's like an uncut Scottish guy in Russia. I don't know. In Moscow, I don't know. Anyways, Moscow Uncut. The name of his YouTube channel is called Moscow Uncut. So I don't know if he's like an uncut Scottish guy. Anyways, I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. But anyways, I just know the name of his YouTube channel is Moscow Uncut. You could search it yourself. You could find the channel and see that all the videos have disappeared. There's no more videos on the channel. And it's not like he has like more subscribers than I do. So I'm sure even his other subscribers might be concerned, right? Like I said, the fact that he's in Russia, Mother Russia, the fact that there's a war between Russia and Ukraine, the fact that they've been catching American spies in Russia, and then they've even in America, they've been catching Russian spies. So they've been putting Russian spies in prison in Germany, for example. There was a news article just a few days ago. I saw that Germany, they caught 2 suspected Russian spies in Germany. So the fact that all this stuff's going on in the world right now between Russia and the United States and Ukraine and the war between Russia and Ukraine, this is why I'm concerned. Like what happened to this guy? What happened to all his videos? He very well might surface in a few days. I mean, in next week, he might come back and say, oh yeah, he was retuning his YouTube channel. He just took down all his videos. But it's very strange because I've never... I haven't been streaming for a long time. I'm not like an expert on YouTube, to be honest. So, but if someone's going to be changing their channel, first off, the guy had no reason to change his channel. Like his channel was great. Like people loved him. He had great videos. The guy had no reason to take down his videos, honestly. Like no reason. I cannot see any reason why he would take down the videos. So if he was going to suddenly edit his channel, I mean, in the editing process, would you remove your own videos in the editing process? I don't understand. Why would he be editing and just removing all his videos? And it's not just he removes a couple of his videos. No, all their videos are removed, right? It'd be one thing maybe if he just removed a couple of the videos, but they're all gone. All the videos are gone. Like, hypothetically speaking, what if like the Russian government was like, what's going on with this guy? And then they remove all his videos, like, right? If this guy was editing his own channel, I could maybe see him removing a couple of his videos or whatever, or even changing the name of the channel. But like, The channel's still up, but all the videos have been removed. So I don't even have a picture of the guy. I wish when his YouTube channel was up, because he's a streamer, he's a YouTuber, and he does lots of videos. He streams right from Moscow, and he shows off the city of Moscow. He shows off Russia, and he often will he'll defend Russia many times. He'll defend Russia. So I'm kind of shocked that this guy suddenly has gone missing. Anyways, let's go back to comments. So Ken Gil Martin came in and Ken said, "Lol, YouTube have terms of service. He may have violated their rules and been forced to have them taken down." I don't know how he would have violated their rules. I didn't see anything abnormal on his channel. I saw nothing weird, nothing wrong on his channel. This guy was an upstanding gentleman. He seemed like a nice, normal guy. I mean, I don't really know for sure, obviously. I'm not going to assume either way. I'm not going to assume, I'm not going to assume anything. I'm not going to make any assumptions. But if you were to just, base it on, not base it, but if you watch this channel, you'll see what I mean. Like his channel, he was a nice guy. He seemed normal. So I don't know. You could be right. It's a possibility, but I'm not going to assume anything. I'm not going to assume that his YouTube took down his, because then also, right, why is his channel still up? His channel's still up, but all the videos are gone, right? So technically YouTube didn't like fully remove the channel. If that's what happened, if the theory that this person, the commenter just came in, which by the way, thank you Ken Gilmartin for your comment. He said, what if maybe YouTube took down the channel? But YouTube actually, if that's the case, if that's what happened, YouTube didn't actually take down the channel, just all the videos are gone. So the channel's still up. You could search it, Moscow Uncut. The name of the channel is Moscow Uncut. And it's very strange. This guy went missing. His videos are gone. And I'm just concerned. Anyways, let's go back to comments. Alonzo came in and he said, "Wait, you're shocked the man went missing in Russia?" No, I'm not shocked. That's why I'm concerned, okay? I'm not shocked that a man went missing in Russia. I'm concerned that another man went missing in Russia. So, a hardworking blue collar man, as far as I know. He seemed like a really legit guy. He was good looking. He was Scottish. He had a nice Scottish accent. Anyways, the name of his channel was Moscow Uncut. So I don't know. I don't know if that means he's like some uncut Scottish guy. Anyways, he's a nice looking normal guy, and apparently he had a Russian wife. He mentioned her on his channel. I'm pretty sure. I remember he said he had a Russian wife. So I mean, this is really shocking that his videos are gone. In fact, from all the people that I were expecting to go missing in Russia, and believe me, Canada, we got a lot of spies in Russia right now. Like Canada, we got spies in Novosibirsk. Canada has got spies in Vladivostok. Canada has spies in Ryazan. Canada has spies in Siberia. Canada has spies even in St. Petersburg and Moscow. So, like, from all the people that I would have expected to go missing right now, especially all the Canadians right now spying on Russia in Russia, spying on the Russians in Russia, all the Canadian spies right now in Mother Russia, all the Canadian spies in Russia. From all the people I would have expected to go missing, I would not have expected this Scottish guy to go missing. Like, he seemed like a nice, normal, legit guy, to be honest. So anyways, let's go back to the comments. So a guy came in and his name says Donald J. Trump. So the name of this commenter, now his message is weird. His messages are going missing. It said message retracted. He was saying something about Putin. So anyways, can you see him? Anyways, hello, Donald J. Trump. That's the name of this commenter. I'm not going to assume anything, but anyways, it's actually possible, right? So when you think about it, like there's more than one Jerry Seinfeld, right? Like there's more than one Bill Cosby. There's more than one, right? So there's cases where people just happen to have the same name. So it's very possible that someone could also be named Donald J. Trump, right? Like Donald is a common name. Trump is a common last name. Trump, Donald. It's very possible that another person could be named Donald J. Trump, right? So I'm not going to assume that it's just, anyways. But someone came into the live stream just now and they were making comments and their name says Donald J. Trump. They were saying something about Putin, although the messages now seem to be have retracted. I can't see the messages anymore. I don't know why that happened. Anyways, I don't know if YouTube retracted the messages or the Donald J. Trump guy removed his messages. But anyways, so that's the end of the comments. I don't see any more comments now. Is anyone still in here? People probably are going to check out the Moscow Uncut channel to see what I'm talking about. Hello, so I'm back. So, okay, I just went to go put a tea kettle on so that my tea kettle's on. So, I'm making tea. So, in Russia, they call it chai. So, in Russia, they love to drink tea in Russia. So, they call it chai s limonem, chai s malakom, chai with tea, chai with lemon, chai with milk, right? They actually especially love black tea. There's black tea is famous in Russia. They love to drink black tea, which is called chorny chai. So, chorny chai s malakom. Мне нравится chorny chai s malakom. So I actually like black tea with milk. That's my preference. Я предпочитаю пить черный чай с молоком. So anyways, for anyone who just came in, who's not sure what we're talking about, there's a Scottish YouTuber who's in Russia, whose channel, all his videos went missing for some reason. His channel's still up, so you could see for yourself. The name of his channel is Moscow Uncut. So if you search on YouTube Moscow Uncut, his channel should come up. But the channel will come up, but the videos are gone. Like all the videos, not just one, not just two. All his videos have been removed. This guy would estimate, I don't know exactly, but I would say he had around maybe 10, 12 videos. They were popular, they got a lot of views. He was streaming from Moscow. I mean, people were interested to see what it's like in Moscow, right? Moscow, Russia, right? So he was streaming from Moscow. He was showing off Moscow. He was showing off Russia. He was a good-looking guy from Scotland, good-looking Scottish guy, had a really nice Scottish accent. Uh, and suddenly now all his videos have been removed. I don't know who removed them. I don't know. I'm not going to assume anything. I don't know if he removed them himself, the videos. I don't know if the Russian government. I don't know if the Russian government made him remove the videos. I don't know if maybe YouTube removed the videos, but it's very strange that suddenly now, all of a sudden, his videos are just gone. He had a pretty successful YouTube channel. He was a nice guy. He like seemed like a normal guy. But the fact that he's from Scotland, he's Scottish, and then on top of it, not just that, but he's in Russia. And not just in Russia, but there's a war right now between Russia and Ukraine. Like there's a war. There's a war between Russia and Ukraine. Donald Trump just met with Putin in Alaska to try to make a deal over the war that's going on that for a while been between Russia and Ukraine. So all of these things added up together makes it cause for concern, right? But like I said, I don't know what happened. Nothing might have happened. He might very well be fine. We might see him resurface next week, and he might have an explanation to why all of a sudden all his videos were removed off his channel, right? But I don't want to assume anything. I'm not going to assume he's fine either. Like he is fine in the sense that he's like, oh, he's fine looking, right? He's a masculine guy from Scotland. He's a good-looking Scottish guy. So he's fine in that sense. But I'm not going to assume that he's fine in the sense that he's not in Russian prison right now. I'm not going to assume that either. I don't know. I'm not going to jump to conclusions, In my line of work, especially in my line of work, you're never supposed to jump to conclusions about anything. Anything's possible. So I don't know if this Scottish YouTuber who has been streaming from Russia for a while, apparently I'm pretty sure he said he had a Russian wife. So I think he's married to a Russian. He lives in Moscow. He lives in Russia. He's been living there for several years, the Scottish YouTuber. He's a good-looking guy. He's thin. He's tall. He's got muscles. He's got a nice Scottish accent. So I don't know why suddenly all his videos have gone missing. And it's been more than a few days for sure, because I noticed this about 4 or 5 days ago that his videos were missing. And I thought, oh, well, maybe next week, right? Just wait a few days, the videos will go back up. He'll have an explanation, what happened. But no, it's been now, I'm pretty sure, at least a week. It's been at least a week. And, that's a long time. A week is kind of long. And the fact that, Russia has a war with Ukraine and people have gone missing in Russia before. It's not like we're talking about people can go missing in any country. I mean, people can even go missing in Canada, Have you ever tried to go to like British Columbia and like party with those potheads. You know the potheads in British Columbia, they like to smoke marijuana and stuff like that. Well, I don't do pot and I don't do marijuana. I don't smoke pot. I don't do marijuana, nothing like that. But interestingly enough, what I recently learned is that in France, a country that allows like men to walk around with blow up dolls, France, a country that allows like all of this weird kinky stuff, France, a country that allows all this weird kinky stuff, France actually doesn't allow and has very strict rules against marijuana. So if you go to France, Paris with marijuana, you could be arrested and detained. And remember, there was another person who was arrested in Russia. She was a black basketball player by the name of Brittany Griner. Brittany Griner, this is a famous case. Remember, it's a famous case. The case of Brittany Griner. She was a black basketball player. This is a famous case. A black basketball player named her name was Brittany Griner, and she was put in Russian prison because she had vapes or something. I think she either had some sort of marijuana pens, some kind of marijuana. So it was some sort of vaping thing or marijuana. And she apparently had that on her when she was traveling to Russia, and they arrested her in Russia. The Russians arrested her and put her in prison in Russia. So we're not talking about a country. It's not like, anyways, people can get arrested in any country, right? But especially Russia. Like Russia is known for people going missing. It's very common. People have gone missing in Russia. So I'm concerned. I'm concerned. I don't know what happened to this guy. I'm not going to assume either way. I'm not going to assume he's okay. I'm not going to assume he's not okay. I'm not going to assume he's a Scottish spy in a Russian prison. I'm not going to assume he's not a Scottish spy, Scottish guy. I'm not going to assume either way. I'm not going to assume he is a Scottish spy in Russian prison. I'm not going to assume he's not a Scottish spy in Russian prison. I'm not going to assume anything. I don't really know. And it's possible that maybe even so that something happened that had nothing to do with the Russian government. It's okay, hear me out here. What if he went skiing, right? What if he went backpacking in a forest or something? What if he went missing in a forest? What if he went, Canadian forests, Canada, we got these big Canadian forests, and people go missing on the Canadian forests all the time. So people go missing in Canadian forests. So it's very possible also that something could have happened to him that has nothing to do with Russia, nothing to do with politics, nothing to do with the war with Russia and Ukraine. It's very possible that this guy could have gone missing because, maybe he went backpacking in a Russian forest or something, right? So I'm not going to jump to conclusions. I'm not going to make any assumptions either way. I'm just saying we should be concerned, in my opinion. In my opinion, I'm concerned for this guy, especially when men, especially when anybody goes missing in Russia. Of course, when anyone goes missing in Russia, it's cause for concern. But also, this guy was hot. I mean, he's a Scottish guy, and he was good looking, and he was a normal guy, and he was a nice guy. But of course, anyone who goes missing in Russia, I would be concerned. In fact, when they arrested Brittany Griner, when they when they arrested when the Russians arrested the black basketball player Brittany Griner, I just kept thinking to myself, thank God I'm no longer in Detroit where they robbed me and they stole my money. Those people, not, you know what I mean by those people, basketball players. Obviously, I'm talking about basketball players. When I was in Detroit, a bunch of basketball players robbed me. They put a gun to my head. They stole my money. They called me Canadian, gay Canadian. They laughed at me. The basketball players in Detroit, they robbed me. They stole my money. They stole my Canadian tourist money. They beat me. And when I called the police for help, when I called the Detroit police, they were like, the homies and stuff, the whatever they are. They took the side of the basketball players. So they always seem to take the side of the basketball players. When you call the Detroit police, it's like they're always like Then they called me cracker. They called me cracker. They called me gay Canadian. They laughed at me. They stole my Canadian tourist money. So basically, when Russia arrested Brittany Griner, the black basketball player, I was very upset. I was crying, in fact. I was praying every day that Brittany Griner gets exactly everything that she deserves in life. Everything that Brittany Griner deserves in life, I was praying for Brittany Griner. I was like, oh, I hope those hot Russian guys go easy on her. I hope those hot Russian security guards, I hope those hot Russian police officers go easy on Brittany Griner, the basketball player who was detained in Russia. So, anyways, yeah. I definitely was praying for something. I definitely was praying for something. I'm praying to get my money back. I would really love to get my money back because the basketball players in Detroit, they stole a lot of my money. They beat me. I got a concussion. They put a gun to my head. They laughed at me. They called me cracker. So it's very traumatic. I still have like dreams about it, you know? I still have like dreams about basketball players robbing me and stealing my money. So anyways, it's actually true. So well, they did they did play basketball. I'm sure they played basketball. I know they played basketball. Uh were they like professional NBA basketball players? No, but they were basketball players in the sense that I'm positive that they played basketball at some point in their lives. So they definitely were basketball players. And then they were also uh what's the opposite of anyways, they were a bunch of thugs. They were a bunch of thugs and they robbed me, they stole my money. So when Russia arrested Brittany Griner and put her in Russian prison, I was definitely concerned for the Russians. I was really worried for those Russian cops. I was worried for those Russian police officers, those hot Russian guys. I was worried for them. Brittany Griner, she seems dangerous. Brittany Griner, she seems dangerous. She could very well be an American spy, right? The CIA, the CIA, they're always up to something. The CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency, they got people everywhere. The Central Intelligence Agency got people everywhere. They even got people in Canada, I'm sure. So the Central Intelligence Agency, I wouldn't put it past the Central Intelligence Agency if they hired Brittany Griner and she actually was a spy who worked for the CIA and her cover was that she was a basketball player. So it's very possible. I don't like her because I don't like her in the sense because I'm a homosexual and I like men and I don't like I'm just a homosexual, so I don't really like Brittany Griner in that sense, in like a romantic kind of sense. And also I don't anyways, I'm gonna stop talking about that. I'm gonna stop talking about that specific Brittany Griner situation. Anyways, let's go back to the comments. A Russian or someone who speaks Russian came in. Ubesia, I'm not sure how to say your name. So I apologize if I don't know how to say your name correctly, but Obesia Venecom came in. Sounds like a Bond villain. The name, anyways, it's a cool name. You got a cool name. So no offense, no offense. Besabid. Besabid мой друг. Besabid. No offense. It sounds like a cool name. Круто. Очень крутно. Имя. Пожалуйста, no, добро пожаловать на мой канал. Спасибо за внимание. И пожалуйста, скажи мне, если ты из Руссии, откуда ты, какой страна, какой город, откуда ты, добро пожаловать на мой канал. Она сказала, she came in and she said, что вы сказали про Russia? I'm not sure what the last word is. She said, so I studied Russian for years. I speak fluent Russian. Obviously, I studied Russian. I speak fluent Russian. I don't know every Russian word, but she came in, or he came in. Someone came in who's Russian, and they said, "Что вы сказали про Russia? Russia? Who's Russia? Raj? Is it Raj?" She said, "Что вы сказали про Russia?" Or he or she said, "Что вы сказали про Russia?" What's Russia? Пожалуйста, ответь мне, пожалуйста. Скажи мне, что ты имеешь diremeyiş video. And she also said, or he said, Ubesia said, KGB za vami sledyat. The KGB is not after me. I definitely know the KGB is not after me. Why would the KGB be after me? I mean, I know of the KGB, and I definitely know that they're not after me. So, anyways, um, someone else came in, and Renee Baker. Renee Baker came in, and she said that she plays basketball. So, what does that mean? I don't play basketball. I just said I don't play basketball. I'm not a basketball player. I don't really know much about basketball, but I do know that Brittany Griner, she was an American basketball player who was detained in Mother Russia, and she was put in Russian prison for allegedly having vape pens for having marijuana. So I was trying to explain to people that, marijuana, like, you can get arrested in other countries for having vape pens, even just for vaping, having marijuana. Now, I don't do drugs. I'm not a pothead. I don't do marijuana, nothing. And I don't play basketball. But I'm just letting people know, because we're having a discussion right now about Mother Russia, about Russia, and the fact that people have gone missing in Russia, right? And I'm concerned about this Scottish YouTuber. I'm concerned about the Scottish YouTuber whose video suddenly disappeared. So Renee Baker came in, and she also said, or he said, I'm not sure if Renee, I think it's a woman. I think Renee Baker's a woman, right? Renee's a female name. See, there's all of these names that could be both men and women, like Jamie, or a Sammy. Sammy could be a woman's name or a guy's name, Jamie. So I don't know, Renee. I can't assume. Actually, yeah, right. Because Celine Dion, her husband was named Renee, right? Celine Dion's husband was named Renee. So Renee Baker could actually be a guy. So, anyways, I don't know if you're a guy or a woman. I don't know. So, anyways, I apologize. But anyways, Renee Baker came in. So sorry. I'm just going to say I don't know what your gender you are. So I don't. Anyways, it doesn't matter really. I mean, okay. I don't want all these people to come after me. So, anyways, let me just say that I don't know if you're a man or a woman, but welcome to the YouTube channel. Oh, so Renee. Okay, so yeah, so I was right. I can't just assume that Renee is a female name. Renee Zellweger. I heard the name Renee Zellweger so much. When I was growing up, I used to watch the Renee Zellweger movies, Bridget Jones's Diarrhea. Oh, I said the joke off the bat. I was supposed to say it at the end. I was supposed to say Bridget Jones 1, Bridget Jones Diary 2, Bridget Jones Diary 3, and a new movie, Bridget Jones's Diarrhea. Anyways, the Bridget Jones movies, I saw one of them with Renee Zellweger. So I know Renee is a female name. But of course, then I remember that Celine Dion, Celine Dion, The Power of Love, whatever, right? All by myself. Anyway, Celine Dion, her husband is French Canadian, who, by the way, he's like 15 years older than her. No, 20, right? Anyways, that whole relationship, like, he met her when she was like, anyways, so I'm not gonna get into that, but it's creepy. Anyways, Renee is the Celine Dion's husband, right? So Renee Baker came in and said she's not a spy. How do you know she's not a spy? How do you know? You don't know. The CIA, they don't admit to anything. The CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency, they don't admit who all their spies are. You don't know that. You can't say that Renee Baker, sorry, you can't say that Brittany Griner's a spy, and you can't say she's not a spy. You don't know for sure. It's possible she could be a spy, but it's also possible you can't say for sure she is or she isn't, right? So you don't know for sure that she's a spy, and you don't know for sure she's not a spy. You can't say either way. You really don't. We don't know for sure. You know. I mean, it's very possible that the Russians could have arrested Brittany Griner for more reasons than just the fact that she had vaping pen. Like, the whole story seems kind of absurd. Like, why would Russia want to put like heat on themselves for a woman having a vaping pen, right? Or like a little bit of whatever. So it's, maybe the Russians arrested Brittany Griner because there was more to the story. Maybe she really was, maybe she was a spy, right? Who knows? So either way, my point is you can't say either way. You can't say she is, you can't say she isn't. We don't know for sure. We don't know for sure if she was a spy. We don't know for sure if she wasn't a spy. So, So Bo Pen came in and Bo Pen said he's not the prime minister anymore, Justin Trudeau. He's definitely not gone. Justin Trudeau is definitely still up to stuff. He's definitely doing stuff in the background. In fact, the fact that he's not the prime minister anymore is actually still cause for concern because who knows what he's doing now. You know, when the cameras are off, when there's not as many cameras around Justin Trudeau, when there's not as many cameras following Justin Trudeau around, that's even more scary because Justin Trudeau now will probably get away with even more stuff. Justin Trudeau might get away with more stuff. So. Hello, welcome back to the live stream. I just came back. I had my tea, my chai slamona. So in Russia, in Mother Russia, hey, why did it go from 300 viewers to 150? What happened? Just because I started talking? Anyways, in Mother Russia, they drink tea. I drink tea. I like to drink tea. They call it chai. In Russia, they call tea chai. Especially black tea. They love to drink black tea in Russia. So have you ever wondered why the Russians, they're always healthy, they're living longer than us, especially in China. In China, they live to like what, average 90 years old in China. Russia, China, they live longer, they live healthier. They're healthy, or they're mostly healthy. But sometimes people in Russia go missing. And right now, there is a he was from Scotland, and he's very attractive, very thin, very nice looking man. Seemed like a normal guy. He's married to a Russian woman, apparently. He was doing live streams from Moscow, and he was showing us how safe Moscow is. Oh, wow. This is kind of ironic. This is a little bit ironic. So, a Scottish YouTuber who was married to a Russian had this whole YouTube channel up. It's still up, but the videos are all missing now. The videos went missing. Like the videos went missing. So a YouTuber, the name of the channel is Moscow Uncut. So the name of his channel is So you could search this yourself on YouTube. Moscow Uncut. Moscow Uncut is the name of his YouTube channel. He was all about showing off Moscow, showing Russia, showing how safe Moscow is. He was showing how safe Moscow is, how showing safe Russia is. He was like, talking about battling the Western propaganda. And he was a nice looking guy from Scotland. He had a nice Scottish accent. He was a good looking guy. He was tall, muscles, nice looking Scottish guy. I was like, oh my God, maybe I should have gone to Russia. Let me book the plane flight tomorrow. I'm going to go buy a ticket to Russia tomorrow. This guy's hot. Okay, I'm going to get on a plane and go to Moscow just to accidentally bump into this guy on the streets in Moscow and be like, hey, I just happened to bump into you. I don't know who you are. I didn't watch all your videos. Anyways, obviously, I'm not a stalker. If I was a stalker, I'd be in Moscow right now. And trust me, I do not want to go back to Moscow. So anyways, but he's a really attractive guy, and he's Scottish, and he's tall, and he was a YouTuber in Russia, in Moscow, who was married to a Russian wife, and he was doing these videos in English, and he had a nice Scottish accent, and was doing these videos showing off Moscow, showing how safe Moscow and Russia is. Next thing you know, now, last week, I went to go look into see if he had a new video, and I noticed all his videos were gone. His channel's still up. It says Moscow Uncut. The channel's still there, but the videos are all gone. Like, they're all gone. This guy had at least, I think, about 12 videos approximately. He had really popular videos. They were popular. He had more views than me. Like, he had more subscribers than me. He had averaged, maybe his streams averaged like what, 100,000. If I had to estimate like what, 100,000 views per stream, something approximately, right? And so like, it's not like he didn't have a successful YouTube channel. I cannot see any reason why his videos would all of a sudden go missing. Now, which by the way, it's kind of ironic that he's showing how safe Moscow is, and then the next thing you know, his videos go missing. Anyways. And he goes missing. Looks like it. I mean, I don't know what happened to him. I'm not going to assume he went missing. I'm not going to assume he went missing, right? We can't assume anything. But I'm definitely concerned. I'm concerned that a nice, looking Scottish guy who's a normal guy goes missing in Russia, goes missing in Moscow, Russia. I mean, this is concerning. I mean, the fact that it's just strange, it's really strange. Like, we should maybe look into this because we can't assume anything. We shouldn't assume that he's safe, and we shouldn't assume that he's not safe. We shouldn't make any assumptions about this. We shouldn't make any assumptions. So it is cause for concern when you see a Scottish YouTuber in Russia, and everything seems to be fine. His YouTube channel's nice channel. The next thing you know, all his videos go missing, right? And so, of course, in the last few years, because of the war, especially because of the war between Russia and Ukraine and America, and then Putin just had another meeting with Trump and Alaska, right? So clearly, like it's not like people have gone missing before in Russia. Okay, this wouldn't have been the first time that someone went missing in Moscow, Russia. So really concerned about this Scottish YouTuber in Russia. I mean, what happened to him? Was he like we don't know for sure. I don't want to make any assumptions. It's very possible that he's fine. It's possible he removed his own videos. We don't know. I mean, until we get a response from him, we don't know what happened. He might have removed his own videos, or he could have been arrested, put in a Russian prison. He could be in Russian prison right now. Who knows? Right? Like, the Russians, they're constantly arresting people they suspect are spies. The Russian government constantly, the Russian government constantly arrests Americans and Scottish and British and Germans who they suspect are spies, right? And then in America and Germany and Britain, they constantly arrest Russians they suspect are spies. So we don't know what happened. I don't want to make any assumptions about it. And I just want to say I'm concerned. And you could check it out yourself. His channel's called Moscow Uncut. You'll see for yourself that the channel's there, but all the videos were removed. So really hoping that the videos will come back, or at least we'll get a response from him. Like he'll say either that he removed the videos himself, or maybe he'll say he just decided he didn't want to be a YouTuber no more. Who knows? Whatever. Or maybe we find out that something did happen, and maybe he was arrested, put in Russian prison, maybe, or So we really don't know for sure what happened to the Scottish YouTuber, but we're concerned. He went missing in Russia. And this wouldn't be the first time someone went missing in Russia, believe me. And you do not want to go to a Russian prison because Russian prisons are not nice. And the food, well, the food's not too bad, but I mean, the Russian prison guards, like they're creepy and then they watch you while you're asleep. You do not want to go to a Russian prison, anyways. So that being said, thank you for everyone who's joined the live stream. And if you have any theories or suspicions or anything, theories about Russia, please feel free to leave your comments. And thank you to anyone who joins the live stream. So someone came in, Tom Brewer came in and said, he asked me, have you been to a Russian prison? I have seen videos of Russian prisons. So to answer your question, I have seen videos of Russian prisons, and I've seen the horrible conditions that people have to live in Russian prisons. To answer your question, when you ask me, have you ever been to a Russian prison? To answer your question, I have seen videos of Russian prisons. I've seen videos of them, and I know that they clearly by the videos, by the news articles and the videos of people in Russian prisons do not look nice. So then Brianna Kaufman came in and she said different countries. Yeah, yeah. I know different countries, different laws, different everything. I don't know Tom Brewer. I don't know if Brittany Griner was in a good Russian prison. I mean, they probably have different Russian prisons. It's not like all Russian prisons are the same, right? So there are probably some really bad ones. There are probably some better ones. I mean, it's the same like America, right? America, remember Ghislaine Maxwell? They had her in a real prison, then they moved her to some special camp or something. So America has like prisons for the wealthy. America has prisons for the rich people. America has prisons for poor people. America has prisons for middle class. Like America's got all different types of prisons too. So I know Russia got some really bad prisons in Russia. They probably also have some prisons for women, maybe prisons that are not as bad, you know. So every prison differs honestly to like not every Russian prison is the same, and not every American prison is the same. But generally speaking, if the Russians don't like you, they'll put you in a really bad prison, probably, right? So, no, what I was saying was that they have different prisons for different levels. For example, they have federal prisons, they have provincial prisons. So, and Canada and the United States, Russia, they have different levels of prisons. They have maximum security prisons, they have minimum security prisons. Obviously, the maximum security prisons are worse than the minimum security prisons, right? And I'm telling you a report that Candace Owens was talking about. This is something that Candace Owens said, and she said that apparently Ghislaine Maxwell was removed from a real prison to some sort of like like what you would classify as a retreat, some sort of like a camp or something. They moved her to like a lower security prison where it's like there's more freedom and they get to walk around more and they're treated much better. It's almost like a slap in the wrist kind of prison. So that's what I was saying. What I was saying was they have different levels of prisons. They have high security, minimum security. They have prisons that are like almost like vacations. They have prisons that are like getaway camps, like that are just not as bad. So they definitely do have some prisons that are worse than others. That's what I was saying. Привет, Victor. Victor came in. Victor пришла на мой канал. Пожалуйста, скажи мне, ты, где ты сейчас? Откуда ты? Какой страна? Russia? Ты из Russia? И какой город в России? Какой город в России? Санкт-Петербурге, Новосибирске, или Москва, Владивосток. Где ты сейчас? И тоже давай мне сказать спасибо за твой комментарий.